to this movie. So, to the people, because the movie's not out yet, how would you, summarize this film for people that are interested in checking it out?
If I was to give the short version here, I would say it's really about a hitman trying to find peace during the apocalypse. And I'll delve in a little bit more. I think viruses, as we know how that works, a virus has attacked and killed 25% of the population. And when you get this virus, it does horrible things to you, pain, excruciating pain, disfigurement. And so a lot of times people, when they get it, they don't want to live anymore.
Yeah,
And instead of taking their own lives, they call somebody to come do it for them. And so that's my character, a giver of death.
absolutely. Now, this is a passion project for you. What inspired you to write the script and pursue it all the way up to, it coming out in a couple of days?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about that, and I'll be frank here. I was going through during the time of my life, I was going through a mental wasteland, so to speak. And as an artist, tortured artist, we take and I won't say we I take a lot of experiences from my life to write my scripts. And so during that time, I was going through some things emotionally and personally there with close loved ones and family, and I was just trying to find a way. And I said, I'm gonna, instead of just being depressed and just dwelling on what was happening, I said I'm going to create an artistic work
Yeah.
to symbolize this point in my life. And so I was sitting around, believe it or not, I was watching Jaws in the park. You know how they have people
Yeah.
in the park watching movies. And I said, I got it. I got it. I'm making a movie about this. And I was there with my buddy, and we started talking. He's like, that sounds cool. He's like, how you gonna pull it off? And I said, I don't know. I'm gonna write the script and I'm gonna pull it off. You'll see, you'll see. And so I kept building and building on it. And I was working on a movie with my great friend Chadwick Boseman and 21 Bridges. And as I was on set, I was typing away, writing the script, writing the script, writing the script. And then by the end of the shoot, my script was done. It was done. And and then it was off to the races.
Wow, that's a very inspiring story. Now, like you said, the film is teetering in a world of the apocalypse. How important is that setting to the message of the film?
Teetering on the worldly apocalypse, right? Because what happens is, like I was saying, right, a mental wasteland. So when we go through things in life, right, we're teetering on the verge of something, right? What are we going to do? Are we going to find a way to turn our lives around? What decisions are we going to make? And
Hmm.
so now we go to our character, right? What is he going through? What decisions is he going to make now? Because in the beginning of the pandemic in the movie, he lost his wife and his daughter,
Hmm.
and he started doing this giver job, but he's always longed to have them back or to be with them. And then he starts to realize, what I'm doing, is it right? Is it wrong? And so to have that setting in a pandemic and to have this kind of hitman to be the guiding point to tell this story, I thought that it was a very important way to have that dichotomy in these characters and
Yeah,
really show what it's like on the inside with this high concept.
absolutely. So your character's name is Fog, assassin, agent of mercy. Besides your personal experience, did you draw upon anything else to input into Fog?
Absolutely. In terms of the concept of the film, I was looking for something that really drew the audience in, something that gave us that high concept moment. And I was listening to a podcast called This American Life, and I heard about this thing called a wind phone
Hmm.
in Japan. And this guy had this after the tsunami. He set this phone up on the top of his garden on a hill, and people who had lost their loved ones in the tsunami will come into this phone booth and talk to their dead, talk to their loved ones that had
Wow.
passed on, in order to give them peace on the other side, in order for them to get peace as the human being still living through all of this, right? And
Hmm.
so when I heard that, being an artist that I am, I was crying, and I said, "Oh my God, this is right up my alley." And I said that to pay homage to that, I said I want to have something similar and something like that in this film, because when we lose people, we long to hear their voice again. We
Yeah.
long to be with them again, and so for me, it was that moment that I was like, we got to put this in the film, and I drew heavily from that to add to the high concept of the movie.
Oh wow, that's a great story. I never heard of that before. Now, when it comes to this virus, I mentioned earlier, and you used the word as well, teetering, because the world is not fully in apocalypse mode. They're still looking for a cure. There's still a little bit of hope left. When it came to the virus itself, how detailed did you want to depict it on the screen?
For me, the virus, I didn't want to get into a science thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted I wanted there to be this virus that they're trying to find a cure for, that some people get it, some people don't. But what I really wanted to delve into, because there's been movies about virus and they talk about that. I wanted to delve really into the characters, right? So they don't know what this virus is. They can't actually say, oh, this is a COVID 2020. This is a COVID 2023 or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
wanted people to say, be in a world where this virus is attacking, and them trying to figure it out, but they're living their lives and people are dealing with tragedy and that internal struggle of Fog and his buddy, Frank,
Yeah.
that's the boss of the whole crew. What is he going through? And I'm not going to get no spoilers,
No.
but what are they going to? So I wanted to be detailed with the human emotion more than I was detailed about giving this virus all this science breakdown, because we know viruses exist and they can attack.
Absolutely. Now, when you were writing this script, I assume you were writing it with you in mind to play Fog. When it came time to shoot, were you nervous, weary about how you're going to handle being directing yourself? I mean, you have like 95% of the screen time in the film. Were you nervous how you're going to direct yourself and how you're going to pull that all off?
There is an exhilaration that comes with it for me, right? You've heard other people that are more well known than me that go off that start off, they're actors and they go direct a movie and they say they don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I am not that guy. I want to do it and do it and do it all the time. And so for me, when I the people that were like my friends in the business, you know, they were more nervous. They were like, "Well, how are you going to do all these jobs?" I said, "Don't worry, just
I
watch,
got it.
just watch. I got it. I got it." And so, but I have to say, to in all honesty, I have an incredible team. From Matt Cappuccino to Leah Cohen Mays to Trent Bowling, producers, and the great Lagra Lane group that came and they supported me and
Hmm.
they held me up to make sure that I was successful in doing the job, because I don't want to lose anybody any money, and I also don't want to make a bad movie.
Yeah,
And in dealing with the limited budget that we had to tell a science fiction high concept, everybody had to be on the same train in a line, so to speak. And
exactly.
so, was I nervous? I think I had butterflies, and that's because I care a lot,
But it
and I
sounds
want
like you
to
used
reach
it to
out.
your advantage.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now let's talk about another character in the film, Detective Schmidt, a very important character. You have Fogg and you have Detective Schmidt. They're opposites on their views of what is right, what is not right, and so on. How do you think their motives play into their views? Schmidt, there is right and wrong. Fogg, I am giving them what they want. How do you think their motives play into, you know, what their
Yeah,
views are?
yeah, no, absolutely. Their motives, right? What Schmidt, right and wrong. This is what's right. This is what's wrong. He's a cop. But where's the gray area, right? Where is the gray area that kind of Fog lives in? Where is that? Where is that, right? And so Fogg's on the trying to understand. Schmidt's trying to take down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of his backstory. And
Yeah.
so so these men are different. One is searching for the meaning of his life, and one is saying, I'm gonna get you for what you did,
Hmm.
and maybe not exactly understanding why people are doing what they do.
That, that, yep, that totally makes sense. Now, Schmidt insists, like I said, that right is right, wrong is wrong, and your argument is that it's their choice. Do you believe that there is, if there was an apocalyptic world, in the movie Givers of Death, there is any right or wrong in that world at that stage?
At that stage, um, because you're teetering on complete chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So differentiating right or wrong in a mess like this would be hard to do
Yeah.
because you got people doing all sorts of things, right? And so I think that the main thing would be is to try to find some type of understanding, you know, try to find a way to deal with each other throughout a completely messed up situation. And so, yeah, to answer your question, there is no right or wrong
Mm-hmm.
in this in an apocalypse, right? But I think that killing babies is wrong. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't want to see that. You know. But it's a hell of a gray area when you're dealing with end times.
Absolutely. Now, people think of assassins, you think of, murder for hire. But in apocalyptic world, that is not Fogg's motivations
No.
whatsoever for the organization that he works for. Do you believe that the other people in that organization, you know, it's not really explained, but do it just for money?
Um, some people, just like in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people go to law school to be lawyers so they can make $500,000 a year,
Exactly.
and they don't love the law.
That's
They
like
do it
actors who think I'm going to become an actor and be a millionaire by next week.
exactly. Then they realize that they're going to have to go back to Iowa because it ain't
Yeah.
happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I
And
hear you.
so, and so, yeah, I think without a doubt, there are guys that do it just for the money. And you know what? There are guys that do it just for the thrill.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
true. That's true.
So and there are guys that do it to actually really bring peace to somebody.
Exactly. And that's, I
But
think,
then, right? But
that's,
then it's just like, well, am I wrong for bringing peace? They wanted it. Is it wrong? But I leave that up to the audience to discover that for themselves. Who are they?
absolutely. Going back to Detective Schmidt, what was it about Jonathan Sterrett, who played the character? What did you see in him that you're like, you know what? That is the mirror opposite of Fogg. That is who I want to play
Yeah,
Detective Schmidt.
yeah, absolutely. When I met Jonathan, he had a certain Texas fervor to him.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's where he grew up. And I spent some time and I talked with his mother and I talked with his family. That's just kind of who I am. I know it's like you hire a guy to act, but I want to know everything about the person I'm
Yeah.
hiring. Like I'm hiring to act. And so I spent some time and I said, okay, this is a kid who has a belief system that I think could bode well up against my character.
Yeah.
And so with spending that time with him before the casting, I was like, you know what, this is a kid that I could believe in, that wants to do something unique with his life. And he was very, very energized by the script, the movie, what we were doing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I live in LA now, but I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and I shoot all my movies in Buffalo.
That's
And he was
awesome.
energized about what Buffalo brought to the table and what this script meant, the redemption, the hope aspects of it, living in complete chaos.
Did you want to, like, have Schmidt shown as sort of like a naive character?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was the hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bound for justice, right?
Absolutely.
Because then when you're naive like that, you just like gung ho, go right in, like you're bound to make a lot of mistakes and not recognize what's behind the other door.
Yeah, you sort of see everything black and white when everything is not black and white. There's a lot of gray area.
Exactly.
I want to talk about the character of Franklin. Would you say Franklin is opportunistic or just misunderstood as a character?
Okay. I think Franklin is I can't I want to say he's both opportunistic and I want to say he's both, but that's not giving you a straight answer.
Yeah,
So what I would like to say is Frank is opportunistic. Frank is opportunistic. He's about that dollar, right?
yeah.
He's about the dollar.
He
And
comes
then he
across
has
that
some,
way,
yeah,
definitely.
he has some realizations by the end of the movie with no spoilers.
No spoilers. Now you mentioned earlier, Fogg loses his wife and daughter to the virus. What do you think kept him going? Was becoming a giver and providing what he thought was mercy to people that were suffering from the virus? Do you think that's what kept him going? How would you describe it? What kept Fogg going after he lost his family?
Yeah, why not just take yourself out, right?
I mean, you're gonna. He could have been like, "I'm gonna catch this eventually," you know, and so on.
Right. Yeah, I think what kept Fall going really was, you know, I think his job, what he decided to do,
Yeah,
right? The going to give the people that what they wanted, the peace that they wanted, right? And so he himself was searching for that peace,
yeah.
right? So he was connecting to these people in a way, and you see it in the film,
Mm-hmm.
and he was going to give them peace, and also himself searching for that same peace that he was giving them, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
he was experiencing it, firsthand on all these different occasions, right? And he's searching for the same thing, but then there's something that clicks, and him like, well, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this now? I don't know,
Yeah.
and now he's starting to search, and maybe there's some different things that transpire within him on the inside because you start off one way, you've seen enough, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, you know what, this enough's enough.
Yeah. We definitely see his arc throughout the whole movie, from where he is at the beginning, and of course where the end is. Now, when you started shooting and you were ready to go, did you find, because the inspiration of Fog came from personal experiences for you? Did you find it difficult to get into that character mindset, or did it just click for you as soon as from day one of shooting?
Yeah, I'll tell you. And people that are that are really close to me that are great artists. They talk about it like Addison, you had time to sit with this character.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like, oh, here's a script. Your agent hands you a script and they want you for this role. I wrote the role.
Yeah,
And so as I'm writing and I'm thinking about the character, and I had a chance to really sit and be living in this character, which was some things were pulled from personal experiences in my life.
mm-hmm.
So by the time the camera rolled, once they put that leather jacket on me, it was over.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
You just slipped right into character.
Yep, exactly.
As a final question, because we're almost out of time, you have worn a lot of hats in filmmaking, movie making, and so on. You've done shorts, documentaries. You've worked as a cinematographer, actor, now director. This is your first feature film directing, I
Yeah, my
believe.
first narrative feature. Yes.
Going forward, I love asking this question. Where does your passion lie? Writing, directing, acting, or you want to do it all?
I've had this question a couple times when talking about this, and I'm gonna say it for your audience, just like I said it for everybody else. All right. I had an executive ask me a few weeks ago. He said, "Addison, so what's the grand design? What's the grand vision for you?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself?" And I said, "Do you really want to hear it?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Do you actually really want to answer?" I said, "Well, I want to be like Clint Eastwood."
All
That's
right.
what I said. I
Uh,
said, "I want to act and direct my movies and be the guy in them and direct them. That's what
that's
I want to do."
that's awesome.
And I said that's it. And I said, I'm going for this. I've done, besides my docs that I did, I've trained for this. I've did a bunch of shorts where I acted, directed it. And so this was the moment for me to step into those shoes,
Yeah.
and I'm letting go of the reins. I'm gonna ride this bull until that bull throws me off.
That's awesome. And we're all pulling for you. We're all pulling for you and the success of this movie. I think it's going to do very well. Again, guys, the movie is called Givers of Death. It is coming out to select theaters, digital, and video on demand in 9 days. Friday, August 5th. Addison here stars, directs, and he wrote the screenplay. Check it out. It's a great story. It's, in the huge bowl of apocalyptic movies, this definitely stands out on its own. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share, Addison, before we go?
I just want to say I'm very excited for the world to see this, and we're going all around. Red carpet premiere in Buffalo, New York, where we shot the movie, my hometown. All starts there. I'll be back there, and then on to Detroit and Chicago, and doing the screening in LA. All Q&As, and we're very excited for everybody to see it. And I want to get my face out there because this is not the last of me.
Oh no,
I'll be back.
I
I'll be
yeah,
back.
I 100% believe that. Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're definitely driven. Thank you to our guest Addison Henderson. I want to thank our audience live and those who'll be watching this later on. On behalf of Addison Henderson and myself, stay safe. Check out the movie Givers of Death. Stay walking, everybody. Good night.